let's celebrate Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today, where we go through and we do math things. Specifically, the big doings over the weekend was the NFL draft. The NFL draft came, the NFL draft went. When we were in Las Vegas, we saw the NFL draft set. I never saw them do anything on the big fountain stage. Did I miss it?
No, I'm telling you, I think we were on the wrong. Did you watch on ESPN?
Mm-hmm.
I did too. I really think that might have been NFL Network on that stage because ESPN never did anything out there.
In the barrage.
In the barrage.
Okay.
Anyway, the setup was cool.
The setup was cool. Basically built like a whole airplane hangar.
Yeah.
But we watched as 32 Texas high school football products were drafted, including, I believe, was it 4 in the first round?
Mm-hmm.
It was 4 in the first round. And that is, as you know, the most of any state. Good job, Texas. We did it. But let's take a more holistic approach to it. And our friends at MaxPreps have put together a graphic where they're breaking down, before you put it up, where they're breaking down how many players came from each state, how many players were drafted from each state. First of all, Pickle, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 states that did not produce a signee.
Boo.
How many do you think you could name?
Well, I have the graphic pulled up, so that's not fair.
That's not fair. Okay.
I would have said, I think I could have gotten...
There's basically only 2 that are a little bit surprising to me.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and throw it up there.
Okay.
So 11 states didn't put out one. Alaska, Hawaii, not surprising. Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota. South Dakota, every once in a while, will have one. And then up there in the Northeast, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Vermont, I was doing a piece.
Vermont and New Mexico are the 2 that blew my mind.
No. See, for me, it's West Virginia and New Mexico.
Okay.
I can't believe West by God, Virginia didn't put one out there.
But
I'll tell you something, because you mentioned Vermont, and this is getting way, way, way too into the weeds. But Vermont, I believe it is. Is that the one that I'm referring to? Vermont, Vermont has not produced an FBS signee since 2005.
Really?
They have not had a
Holy
single
cow.
player sign an FBS scholarship since 2005 when Patrick Pinchon signed with Troy.
What
I
do
went
they
and looked
do
that
up?
up.
What do they do
I
up
went
there?
through the database to figure out. Not play football, apparently.
Yeah, is basketball, I guess? A lot of golfers out of Vermont, probably?
Yeah. But
Badminton?
So you see those. Only one from Utah, which is also a little surprising. But I would say that, you take a look overall here. There's not a ton necessarily surprising about all this. Now, you see Texas. Texas has 32 NFL draft picks in 2022. To me, there are the big 4 states. The big 4 states, you could maybe lump Ohio into it, but the big 4 states are Texas, Georgia, Florida, and California. I think those Florida and Georgia numbers are pretty shocking.
Well, think about per capita.
That's exactly right. I think those numbers are pretty shocking. I think Texas is about average. As Mike Craven said in our meeting yesterday, it's about around. Like 1 out of every 7 is from Texas, which makes a lot of sense, right? That seems about right, 32. Keep an eye on Georgia.
Yep.
Okay? Georgia is they are continuing to become the place for the most per capita signees. Georgia's numbers are pretty ridiculous. And in fact, if you take a look at the 2022, if you compare it to the 2022 signing class, Georgia also has the highest per capita signees. And by a pretty considerable margin. That's a metric where Texas ranks like 8th in it.
Right.
And when you consider the fact that Texas has a population of about 30 million, it's around 30 million, and Georgia has a population of around 11.
That's crazy.
Their high school football's cooking right now, and I think we all need to sit up and pay attention to it. So that's particularly interesting. Georgia, I thought, was a little bit surprising to me, just the number of players that they had drafted. If you're interested, there were, I believe, so it's the second time in 3 years Texas had the most. Georgia was second, California third, Florida fourth, then Ohio, Alabama, Louisiana, Maryland, and North Carolina. There was only one high school to have 3 draft picks. It was a high school in Georgia, Cedar Grove, Georgia, in Ellenwood. Jelani Woods went in the 3rd round. D'Angelo Malone went in the 3rd round. And then Justin Schaefer went in the 6th round. There were also, do you know that there were, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There were 13 high schools that had 2 NFL draft picks, including one in Texas. Pickle! Which Texas high school had 2 players drafted?
Was it Atascocita?
It was not, but you're in the right part of the state.
Okay, so it's got it down there in the Houston area. I don't know.
The answer is Klein Collins.
Oh, yep,
Isaiah
that's right.
Spiller and Cameron Good
Yep.
were both taken from Klein Collins.
Yeah, because Kenyon Green went from
Atascocita, but he was it. Well, yeah. Oh, no, only the first Texan drafted. Or no, second Texan drafted. If you're interested, if you look over it, overwhelmingly, it's a lot of 6A and 5A, which shouldn't necessarily be
big
surprising.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in the smallest school that had a kid drafted,
okay,
are you?
Sure.
Is that something that you're interested in?
I am.
It would be 3A Hempstead. Hempstead with Delarin Turner Yell out of Oklahoma State is a 3A program. I believe that's the only 3. Let me make sure I'm not putting my foot in my mouth. That appears to be the only 3A and below program. Yeah, that's true. To have a player drafted. So yeah, that is.
I also feel like we didn't give enough credit to Maryland. Like 10 players out
lot.
Of Maryland is a lot. Like, I mean, if you compare that to Oklahoma and Arkansas that only had 4, like even Missouri only had 7. Like that.
Maryland's got 6 million.
That's insane.
Maryland's only got 6 million people. You know, that's
yeah,
pretty
10
good.
people.
Yeah, 10.
That's
10
big.
draftees out of that is pretty good. So yeah, there were. Let's see. That is, and yeah. So if you take a look, if you go to MaxPreps, our friends at MaxPreps have the whole list of where you can look up and down who was drafted from where. There were 12 states that didn't have a player drafted. That counts the District of Columbia, but Alaska, Delaware, District of Columbia, Hawaii, Idaho, Maine, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wyoming all had 0 selections. So you can find that on MaxPreps. Find out which states had produced the most draft picks in 2022. The answer is Texas, but we got to watch our back because Georgia's coming.
They're getting sneaky.
Got to be careful there.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.